For that, Mark Zuckerberg is speaking at the Facebook Town Hall question and answer at the IIT Delhi campus.
First Town Hall Q&A in India. I'm so excited to be here. So I think Anki just gave you a sense of what we're going to do, but you know, these Town Hall Q&As are a really important way and part of how we run the company and the community at Facebook, right? Because for many years, you know, every week inside the company, we've had a Q&A with employees where people can just raise any question they want. They ask hard questions, they give us feedback, and it's a good opportunity for me to hear from people about what they're thinking about. So we recently started doing this for our community as well, and have been traveling to a lot of places around the world to hear from our community. And you know, India has 130 million people who use Facebook. It's the second biggest country. So it's really important, I think, to have a chance to hear from all of you today and hear what you're thinking about, and you know, we'll probably get some ideas for how we can make Facebook a better service. So thank you guys. I really appreciate all of you guys coming out here today to have this dialogue. Now, before we get started, there's one topic that I want to touch on, and that's, you know, as we were flying in to Delhi, I received word that there was this terrible earthquake, right? And it's centered in Afghanistan, but you know, also affected people in Pakistan. And you know, our team who was on the ground here and a lot of my friends here sent me notes saying that we could feel the whole place shake for a minute. And you know, it's moments like these when it's so important for people to be able to come together and to know what's going on with the people that you love. Right? We often talk about our mission at Facebook as helping people connect, and you know, a lot of times people think about that as, you know, sharing photos or you know, simple things that are going on throughout your day. But when there's a disaster, it's, you know, all you want to know is whether the people that you love are safe. And one of the things that I'm really happy about is, you know, we activated the safety check tool that we have for the community on Facebook, and already more than 3 million people have marked themselves as safe, and more than 150 million people in the community have been notified that their friends and loved ones are safe from the impact of the earthquake. So I really appreciate all the effort that people have gone to make sure that they tell their friends and that their loved ones can hear that they're safe. And this is just another thing that you know, our community does that I think is pretty important in the world. So you know, we're continuing to think about everyone who was hurt and was affected by this crisis, and we'll be doing more to try to help out. All right. We'll get started with some questions.
Thanks. Question time. So we received literally thousands of questions to your postmark, and there are a bunch of questions which have been selected from that thread. Some of those people are here in person to ask you those questions. The bunch of students who sent in questions when they registered to join the town hall, and we will take some of those questions from there. And then there are some questions which we will take from the live audience. So I know nobody is shy, so please put up your hand and I'll come to you. So we have our first questioner here, Ankit.
Hi, Mark.
Hey.
Myself, Alkit Jain, and I'm a chartered accountant by profession. So my question is very simple. And why are you showing so much interest in India? Answer honestly.
So our mission is to give everyone in the world the power to share what's important to them and to connect every person in the world. And India is the world's largest democracy. It's, you know, one of the biggest countries where if you really have a mission of connecting every person in the world, you can't do that without helping to connect everyone in India. So we think about this in two ways. First, there are already more than 130 million people in India who use Facebook. It is one of the largest communities that we have across the world, and we take our responsibility to serve the people in India who are already using Facebook and WhatsApp, which is also in our family of products. We take that very seriously. So having the ability to hear and talk to people and hear what they need from us and what we're doing well or what we're doing that we can improve and need to do better. That's a huge thing that we need to do for our community. The second part is that there are 1 billion people in India who do not have access to the internet yet. And if what you care about is connecting everyone in the world, then you can't do that if there are so many people who don't even have access to basic connectivity. Now, everyone here probably has access to the internet in some capacity, and when you've had it for a while, you start to take it for granted. You think about it as maybe it's something that I can use to get access to entertainment or some basic communication tools. But it's easy to forget that if you haven't had access to the internet, it's really a tool that provides some vital infrastructure for your life, right? I mean, it can provide educational information for people who don't have access to good schools. It can provide health information on how to take care of your child or avoid diseases for people who don't have access to good doctors or health infrastructure. It can provide access to job listings for people who live in poorer villages where the economy isn't very strong. So the research has shown on this that for every 10 people who get access to the internet, about 1 person gets a new job, a job is created, and about 1 person gets lifted out of poverty. So there's just a tremendous opportunity in India, right? If there are 1 billion people who are not connected, then this is one of the biggest opportunities, I think, to help develop the economy here and to help alleviate poverty and really lift up a lot of folks. And, it's easy to talk about this as something that will be important for India, but I actually think that connecting people in India is one of the most important things that we can do for the whole world, right? Because it's not just improving the lives of people here that getting access to the internet will have. It's also that, there are all these ideas that, entrepreneurs and students have here that the rest of the world doesn't have access to today because those people don't have the ability to share what they know, right, in their experience. All the things that entrepreneurs and students could produce if they had access to these tools, everyone around the world, not just in India, but every other person in the world is currently robbed of that opportunity because folks don't have the opportunity that they need here to create the companies or opportunities that they want. So that's why I care about it. We have a large community of people here. It's the 2nd biggest community that we have in the world, and we care deeply about serving that well and giving everyone the best tools that we can to help people share everything that they want. And we really want to get the next 1 billion people online. And if we can play a role in either of those things, then that's something that I personally care a lot about. And that's why I'm so excited to be here.
Our next question is from you, Ankita. Yeah. Hi, Mark. Welcome to India.
Hey, thank you.
I am Ankita, and I am with the Railways, and I am also a sports person. So I need to ask you that although we are 130 million users here, how do you wish to connect with those who are not on FB or who don't even have any access to internet? Yes.
Yeah, this is the key question, right? So if I just talked a bit about why I thought connecting everyone to the internet was important, I think what you're asking about is kind of how you do this, right? How do you get 1 billion people onto the internet and to improve their lives in that way? And the first thing that I'd say is just we can look at the efforts that we've had with Internet.org and our other programs around the world and here in India. Internet.org is we've had this program to spread internet connectivity. It is live in more than 24 countries and growing around the world. And here's a new stat that we haven't shared before, is there are 15 million people around the world who have access to the internet now because of the efforts that we're taking with Internet.org, who wouldn't have had it otherwise. And if you believe these stats that we've seen that show that for every 10 people get access to the internet, there's a new job is created and a person is lifted out of poverty, then connecting 15 million people to the internet around the world is, that's a pretty good impact. So for I've seen some cynical reporting saying that, oh, the program isn't doing as well as we want. I don't know. If you don't think that's good, I want to know what you think is good. But you know, we're off to a good start around the world. What we found is here in India, almost 1 million people now have access to the internet because of these efforts who didn't before. What we find is that in the places that have access to these free basic services, the rate of people getting on the internet doubles. Right, so you know, we've started it in some areas, and it hasn't expanded throughout the whole country yet. So in the areas that have it, internet growth rate is twice as much as it was before. So that's the main message that I deliver. Is, you know, this is a program that is working around the world. We just started in India a bit earlier this year, so it's still a bit earlier in its growth, but we know that this works, and we know that it will connect more people. In terms of how exactly it works, you kind of need to break down, there are about 4 billion people in the world who don't have access to the internet. And they kind of break down into there are three reasons why people might not have access. One is we call availability, right? You might have a phone, but there's no network that's available for you to access. The second is affordability, right? Which is you have a phone and you might be able to access a network, but it's very expensive, or you might not be able to afford it. And the third issue, which is actually the biggest, interestingly, is awareness. And what that means is, you know, you have a phone and you have access to and you can get access to the internet and you can afford it, but you may not know why you would want to use the internet. And you know, if you grew up and you never had access to a computer and you never used the internet, and someone asked you if you wanted to buy a data plan, it's not a surprise that a lot of people's question is, well, what do I get with the data plan, right? Why would I want to spend some of the money that I have on getting a data plan? So we're doing things on all three of these to basically break down all of these barriers. On availability, there are a lot of places in the world where there just aren't good networks. It's too expensive to have the traditional internet infrastructure spread all the way out to a lot of these very rural areas. So we're investing in new ways to deliver connectivity. Solar-powered planes that can fly up in the air and beam down connectivity. We just announced a project to put a satellite up in space that can beam down connectivity. So those are new ways to deliver connectivity. The second, for affordability, we're very focused on just making it so that our apps and others use less data. Right, so if you go back about a couple of years, the Facebook app now uses, I think it's about 1/10 of the amount of data as it used to. So that means that not only does it cost you 1/10 as much because you don't have to pay for that data, but it's also faster and more reliable because, you know, there's less to transfer over the wire. So that's a big deal. And then the third issue.
That's a riveting watch, and I hope we were one of those 900 people and students who are, you know, present at the question and answer at the IIT Delhi Town Hall. That was Facebook's Mark Zuckerberg. Remember, CNBC TV 18 has tied up with 10,000 startups